And we're back with basketball. Obviously today was the NBA trade deadline. As of recording, this is probably going to go up the day or two after. But we're recording after the trade deadlines ended, so hopefully all the trades are already made. We had some come out like right after the deadline. But big news: Nikola Vucevic got traded to the Chicago Bulls. I didn't see Vuce getting moved. Honestly, I saw maybe Aaron Gordon, maybe Terrence Ross. I did not see Vuce getting moved because Vuce has 3 years. So he's got this year, the year after, and then the year after. Still in his deal. He's not like an expiring contract.
And he's an all-star, so
all-star center, one of the best centers in the league. The full trade was Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu to the Bulls for Wendell Carter, Otto Porter, and 2 first-round picks. Obviously, Bulls are going all in for now. I think it's a huge Bulls dub. Bulls made a few trades today. I think it's huge Bulls W. But still, the Magic get solid pieces. They get 2 first-round picks from Chicago. Chicago always gets the 7th pick in the draft. It's just kind of synonymous with Chicago, is what it is. If they miss the playoffs, they're getting the 7th pick. But they get Wendell Carter, who's one of the better centers better young centers in the league. He doesn't really have the size, but he really has the skill and the strength to be a good center in the league. And Otto Porter, solid player, but huge contract. There's a big reason he got moved. What do you guys think of this? I think it's great.
I think it's a huge W for the Bulls. Like pair Levine up with Vuce, and then that's that 2 all-star punch. That's great. Losing Wendell, but you're getting Vuce, so you know what I mean? Only W's.
It's tough to get rid of Wendell, especially when Chicago fans get a little attached to him. But you're getting an all-star to pair along your all-star. You know what I mean?
With 3 years left, like you said. So
exactly.
It's not like a rental situation.
And especially late in games, the Bulls tend to get a little stagnant in their offense, which comes, they're young. They are a young team, but Vuce is great post-up player. If you get stagnant, Vuce will post a guy up and get a bucket for you. So that's a great trade. The Bulls are definitely making the playoffs, in my opinion.
I would say it's pretty balanced too. I wouldn't say that one team gave up too much and another team was able to basically scrape together whatever they had laying around for, an all-star.
Yeah, I completely agree. The 2 first-round picks is a lot, but you're getting a great center. So it's a good trade for both sides, in my opinion. Terrence Ross tweeted out after that trade.
Sad face, right? The tear.
A whole bunch of crying faces. And somebody replied, what does this mean? And Terrence said, means they might unload the truck, lol.
Ooh.
So everybody expecting Magic trades. Nuggets fans got one. I believe it was RJ Hampton,
Gary Harris,
and a first for Aaron Gordon. Yeah.
For AG himself.
Matt, how do you feel as the designated Nuggets
Love to
fan?
see it. Aaron Gordon is still really young. I believe he's 25. That's crazy, and he's a beast. The lob threat, just we needed a power forward. We lost Jeremy. We have Millsap, who's a good veteran, but bringing in a young star like Gordon, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good move. You got AG and JaVale as lob threats. That was the JaVale trade was Isaiah Hartenstein and 2 second-round picks.
I love that trade. I hated Hartenstein and
Hartenstein's not a good center in the NBA. You trade 2 seconds, which are kind of valuable, but not that valuable. But dude, those outlet passes, those lob passes from Jokic to the bigs is gonna be so nice.
That's gonna be super fun to watch.
Yeah.
Denver also got Gary Clark in that trade too. He's 26. He's young.
Who'd we get?
Gary Clark.
I don't even know that. Is that true?
Yeah, I didn't know that was part of the trade.
What I have is Gordon and Clark for Harrison Hampton and the 2025 first.
Ooh,
that's nice.
He got traded for how old is that kid? Is he
2025? That's
Did you get traded for a sophomore in high school or something?
I got traded for a sophomore.
Oh God.
I got some boys playing on the township basketball team right now that just got traded, so they got to start packing their bags, moving to Orlando. But another Magic trade that happened. Magic were really cleaning house. Evan Fournier got traded for almost literally a bag of saltine crackers. Two future second round picks to the Boston Celtics. Huge W for the Celtics. The Celtics really needed some consistent scoring. I mean, you got 2 All-Stars. You got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are great players. Kemba's not having a great season, but he could be you could consider him as a third All-Star level kind of guy, which he has been consistently in his career. Mm-hmm. But Evan Fournier, most likely going to come off the bench, can really be that firepower. I mean, he's got one of the most consistent jump shots in the league. He can put the ball on the floor. He can move. Can't really defend, but that's not really what you need. That's not what you need as a Boston Celtics. Yeah, I think it's a great trade for him.
I think it's a great trade, especially that he got traded for like 2 cans of Pringles. So
yeah. Breaking news right now: LaMarcus Aldridge has been bought out officially by the Spurs.
Great news.
Going to the.
I think he's going to Miami.
Yeah. The Miami was the front runner. Completely forgot. Yeah, he's going to Miami.
He's going to that warm weather.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's gonna go be a backup big on a contending
team.
That's big. Another move: Victor Oladipo to the Heat. Speaking of Miami, pretty sure. Let's check out the trade real quick. Completely forget what was involved. If you got it pulled up, go ahead.
It was it was Victor Oladipo for Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk.
Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk.
And Houston draft swap.
Oh yeah. I mean, he didn't get traded for what he's worth, but that's because he's on a 1-year deal, you know. Like that's not what Victor Oladipo is worth. Victor Oladipo is a solid third piece on a team, as he will be used. Maybe a primary ball handler, maybe a primary defender, but he's a third piece on a contending team. I think it's a great situation. He's in a place where he likes. There's news that he's really focusing on working out a multi-year extension. But the Heat are in a good position now. Didn't have to give up any of their pieces. Kyle Lowry didn't get traded to him, so they didn't have to give up Tyler Herro. They didn't have to give up Duncan Robinson. They still have their team. They're going to be mean like they were last year.
Pat Riley with that like 1,000
brain
right there.
The brain.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Danny Ainge didn't pull anything off. Danny Ainge is a fraud. I'm kidding.
Timberwolves too. They needed that. They needed Aaron Gordon.
The Timberwolves need to trade Karl Anthony Towns, but
they need to get that haul from him.
That's
the Thunder, dude. Thunder looking tasty for Towns. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm holding some cards in my hand for some reason. That's what I'm saying. Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, perfect center to back up Moses Brown right now. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Moses Brown.
Moses Brown looks hot right now. Pause. He's doing pretty good.
But Moses Brown might be the best center of all time. That's how it's looking.
These G League guys are stepping up this year. Like being like, no, in all seriousness, like Kevin Porter Jr., Moses Brown, center on the Sixers, Tony Bradley. I think he got traded today.
Not on the Sixers anymore.
He just got traded.
Segue. You know where he is? OKC. I'm so happy. We need these young bigs. Most of our bigs have been old. I mean, we got Mike Muscala still. I mean, it's nice as a Thunder fan to see that he didn't get traded. I'm a big Mike Muscala fan. But I mean, we're gonna give Tony Bradley rotational minutes, which Joel Embiid really wants us to trust the process and build around Tony Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
Possible. Just trade everybody. Trade Shea, trade Dort, trade Baze. Keep Tony Bradley.
Tony 1-on-5s.
Tony 1-on-5. He'd crush a team. Let's be honest.
What a stud.
I'm very kidding. I'm a huge Shea fan. Please don't trade him.
And Dort.
Thunder
fans do overvalue Dort. Like he's worth
overvalue.
First round picks.
Overvalue.
Dort. They like
Dort and Shea.
Dort is the Lord and Savior of that franchise.
He is.
I mean, yeah, he's a big part.
Dort's clamping up everybody on the Nuggets. I'm telling you that much.
Whatever.
Dort would guard Nikola Jokic better than most centers in the NBA.
Yeah, Dort is a lockdown.
Dort's a lockdown defender. I think in an ideal world could be a third scoring option on a contending team. When the Thunder draft Cade, it's all that matters. Next trade, another Chicago one. They got Troy Brown and Mo Wagner, and Chicago gave up Chandler Hutchinson and Daniel Gafford. Huge W for Chicago. You get a young guy to come off the bench who is a good not good facilitator. Let's put that.
I believe Mo got traded again though.
Yeah, Mo got traded twice because he was traded to the Wizards. No, wait.
No, he's always on the Wizards.
No, he went to Boston.
Yeah, Mo went to Boston for Tice, right?
And then Tice is now a Bull.
Tice is now a Bull. Yeah, another big trade.
Chicago got a lot of money in that three-way deal as well.
Mm-hmm. Chicago's the big winner of the deadline for me.
Oh yeah.
But Troy Brown's a great scorer to come off the bench. He's young. He fits timeline. But that's not a huge deal to me, at least. Let's see. George Hill trade. We could talk about that real quick. That was a big trade. A 3-team trade. The Sixers get George Hill. The Knicks get Terrence Ferguson, and OKC gets Tony Bradley, Austin Rivers, and 2 second-round picks. OKC now has, I think it was 34 picks in the next 7 drafts, including 17 first-round picks.
That's crazy.
I think it's 17 in the next 5, which is crazy. I got you. But it's kind of crazy how OKC is really just putting together picks, and it makes me really happy. Big W for the Sixers also. What they gave up? They gave up Tony Bradley, Terrence Ferguson. Terrence Ferguson's not good. Let's throw that out there. I'm sorry, Dan. You are a Knicks fan here, but as a Thunder fan, I will tell you 100% honestly, Terrence Ferguson's not good. He's not going to be part of your future plans. He's not going to be part of your playoff plans.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't.
Maybe throw him in there, get him a flashy dunk. You never know.
A flashy jelly layup. That's like the only thing he's good for. But that's a big deal. Sixers take a huge dub. You get your facilitator that you've really wanted. You didn't have to overpay for him like you would have had to overpay for a Kyle Lowry. It's just kind of crazy. Like I think that's a good 3-team trade, and OKC obviously gets everything that we've wanted. So, a big trade in my opinion. Blazers trade for Norman Powell. Norman Powell having an absolutely great year so far, being a good scoring option while OG Anunoby's been hurt. Came in, he started the year off the bench, but then started to start games after OG Anunoby went out. The Blazers trade for him, and they give up Gary Trent and Rodney Hood. I think that's a good trade for both sides.
Yeah, I agree.
Raptors get a young scorer in Gary Trent, and they get I wouldn't really call Rodney Hood a veteran, maybe at this point of his career, but he's seasoned. We'll call him seasoned.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty solid, pretty well balanced deal.
Especially salary wise too.
Yeah. It was a good deal for both sides, being honest. Let's see. Any other big deals go on today? We talked about the Oladipo one.
Did we talk about Rondo going to the Clippers? Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, the Lou Will swap.
Was it just a clean swap?
Second round picks and cash.
Yeah, I mean the Clippers had nothing to work with. All of their future is in OKC. So, but that's a good trade for the Clippers. You needed that point guard. Kawhi's been saying since the offseason they needed a point guard. They didn't go out and get one for some reason. But they trade a guy who's not having a good season in Lou Will. You trade some future assets, which will never matter if you win a championship. That's the big goal of the NBA. And you trade some cash to get a seasoned veteran point guard that could really help a contending team. And he showed that on the Bulls. Before he got injured, the Bulls were up 2-0 on the 1 seed as the 8th seed. But I mean, that was years ago. I think the Bulls had D Wade, so that's crazy. But either way, I mean, Rondo's still a good piece to have if you're trying to contend and if you need a point guard. Him going to Atlanta never made sense to me, at least. Trae Young is never going to be Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo was never a shooter. Rajon Rondo was a defender and a facilitator. Trae Young is not a defender. So there's not much that Trae Young could learn from Rondo, in my opinion, besides the facilitating part. Let's see. Toronto cleared a bunch of roster spots. They got a bunch of second-round picks for Matt Thomas and Terrence Davis, which made everybody hope that Kyle Lowry was getting dealt, and he just wasn't. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we're back. The next big trade was J.J. Redick got dealt. J.J. Redick is now on the Mavericks. The trade was, I believe, J.J. Redick and Nico Melli for James Johnson, Wesley Owundu, and a second. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Big deal for the Mavericks. I mean, you get Luka Doncic, another piece to pass the ball to, which is really all you need. And for the Pelicans, you get rid of JJ Redick. I mean, you don't really get much. Like, that's a big Mavericks win, in my opinion. Anything you guys want to say about that?
No, that is definitely a good move.
Yeah,
Anywhere
definitely.
where he went is just gaining an offensive threat.
Exactly.
Big time.
I think that was all the trades, but a big buyout was Andre Drummond. I'm pretty sure the news is official that he got bought out from the Cavs, and I could genuinely see him going to the Lakers
or the Celtics or the Knicks.
I think the Knicks is the most likely, but I think that's the worst fit out of all of them.
Nah, I think he'd thrive in New York.
I think so too.
But you got to think about the spacing.
Mm-hmm.
Julius Randle, I mean, he just came off a game. He hit 7 threes. Like,
that's crazy.
That's an anomaly. That's an anomaly. Like, he's not gonna do that many more times. I'm a huge Julius Randle fan. I have been since he got moved to the Pelicans. Obviously, Dancy, Julius Randle fan. But you got Julius Randle back to the basket. Like, that's where he gets a lot of buckets. I mean, he's a point forward, the definition of it. But you got to really think about spacing. He's not a great passer. He's not going to throw those lobs to Andre Drummond. You don't really you got rid of Austin Rivers. You don't really got the big point guard anymore. I think the best fit's LA, where Andre Drummond literally has to do nothing but get rebounds. Like, that will be his job. Get rebounds and maybe play a little defense. But I mean, I don't know. Dan, what do you think? You want Andre Drummond on the Knicks?
I mean, I feel like at this point, Drummond's a good vet to have on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I mean, I don't want to just go ahead and say that the Knicks should be taking whatever pieces that they can get, because it's not true, because they're starting to get on the right track. It's going slow, which isn't surprising, but they're going on the right track. I don't necessarily think getting Drummond would take them off of that track. I don't think it can. The only way it could hurt them is that if you pay him, you run out of money to pay somebody else that's better.
Well, Drummond's not going to get a big deal. He's getting bought out, so he's getting paid the rest of his contract with that team.
That's true.
With the Cavs. So buyout markets never get big contracts. They basically take a minimum deal to play for whatever team they sign for. I mean, the Knicks are just getting off with the car analogy. They were going in reverse for a long time, not getting good draft picks, not getting good free agent moves. They just put their car into drive. They're right. stepping off the brake right now. It's gonna take time for that car to speed up, but
they haven't put their foot on the gas pedal yet.
Yeah, exactly. But I also don't think that getting Andre Drummond puts the foot on the gas, because you still need time. I think the Knicks are about a year or maybe 2 years away from being probably their peak, because they're back to being a free agent destination with a winning season coming this year.
Right.
Most likely a playoff berth coming this year.
Hopefully.
Let's hope. We're all close. We want to go to a Knicks playoff game. I want to go to the Garden and watch the Knicks win. I want to see MSG bumping.
Okay.
But
I've actually never been to a Knicks game, so that'd be cool. Been to MSG for Ranger games, never to a Knicks game.
Matt, your first game was a Knicks Nuggets game, right?
Yeah, it was on a Super Bowl actually. It was the Peyton Manning Super Bowl. It was a day game. It was fun.
Nice. I've went to 2 basketball games in my life. They were both Nets games. I would love to see the Garden. I've never been to the Garden. Maybe another Ballbusters vlog has to come.
Definitely.
But we'll see. We might have a. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. We're just gonna drop that train of thought. But I don't think adding Andre Drummond really puts your foot on the gas. I think you wait.
No.
You wait out the season. I don't think it hurts the team. I think if they add him, go for it. You know what I mean? Just don't play him big minutes along with Julius Randle.
It's a risk that you can definitely take. There's not that much harm that could potentially happen in picking him up.
It's a low risk, high reward. I mean, I can see Andre Drummond really, if he picks it up on the defensive end, if he tries, I could see him winning you a playoff game.
Right.
So, I mean, if the Knicks come out of the season with 2 playoff wins and losing in 6 games in the first round, that's not a loss of a season. That's still a W. You're gonna sign a free agent that wants to play in the mecca of basketball. But I mean, we've talked about the Knicks for too long.
Yeah.
We got any more basketball news coming out? I mean, we didn't talk about LeBron being out. I think it came out LeBron's done for a month, which is gonna really hurt the Lakers. I wanted to see the Lakers make a move because Anthony Davis is still out. I don't want this to be like LeBron's first season in LA, where they were the 4 seed, LeBron gets injured, and they drop out of the playoffs. I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah.
I doubt they drop
the Nuggets go through the West though. That'd be LeBron-less. That'd be tough.
I mean, if the West is LeBron-less, that's so open. Because the Lakers are the favorite right now, but I could see like LeBron-less, a Lakers-less playoff. I could see the Suns really making a push.
Oh, definitely.
And I mean, come playoff time, we're gonna have a little bold prediction episode closer to the playoffs. But little sneak peek, I think the Suns really have a chance to be contenders this year.
Yeah.
Like big ones, like big contenders. Might be a little biased because I love Chris Paul, but this could be the season.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I wish the Suns brought Kelly Oubre back. Oh,
Yeah.
I wish.
I wish. I mean, there was a lot of buzz around his name at the deadline. Inevitably didn't get traded.
Yeah.
But I think that's all the time we got for basketball. I don't want to keep wasting y'all's time. We're gonna move on to news with Studes.
Ooh.